This building is an 80 wide, 150 long, and I'm about to explain a little bit more about the difference between a bolt-up and a weld-up building. We do have the charcoal gray. This is just spectacular. These type of beams are called taper beams. We also have cables. Our client did run his electrical for bolt-ups. It's very recommended. Welcome backpack. This is Adbeel and Anadela from WolfSteel Buildings. Hi Anadela.
Hi guys. Today we're actually going to be walking you guys through a really cool 80 by 150 bolt-up red iron metal building. It's actually being used as a riding arena, so it is very, very big. They're still in the process of kind of figuring everything out with the dirt and some doors, so we're still in contact with this client, but it is super cool and we're so excited for you guys to see it.
Awesome. Stay tuned. I'm going to explain a little bit of a difference between a weld-up and a bolt-up building. This is a bolt-up building, so I want to really elaborate a little bit more. Some of you have been asking what's the difference, so let's get into that. Now before, don't forget to subscribe because we got a lot of cool projects coming up and you don't want to miss out. You want to understand all the different types of metal buildings there are out there. And that's what we specialize in. It's just anything around a metal building. And so let's get this video started.
So Adbeel, talk to us a little bit about this project.
Absolutely. So this building is an 80 wide, 150 long bolt-up red iron building. So I know a lot of you have been asking about it, and I'm about to explain a little bit more about the difference between a bolt-up and a weld-up building. So a lot of our videos that we've had is a lot more weld-up buildings, but we also do bolt-ups. And in this case, our client, tell you a little bit of our client. So our client, we're here in Cleburne, Texas, which is really close to Dallas-Fort Worth. Our client had his bolt-up kit material sitting, and I think for about 2 years. And when he called us, he's like, hey, you know, I had a contractor that was gonna put it up, and then he just ran away. He just didn't build it, and I just need it built real quick. And I was like, okay, I can definitely, we can definitely help. Send me the plans and we'll look at them and we'll see if, if we can qualify this project as a project that we can do. We've done NBMI products before, and sure enough, we were building it the next, I think, 2 weeks. Since this was built back in May, we're already in November. So we just haven't gotten the content, but we're here and we're excited to show you. So this is a bolt-up metal building. And before we do the walkthrough, let me talk to you about the difference between a bolt-up and a red iron weld-up, okay? So a weld-up building is basically prefabricated on site. We just go out and get materials and we just build something up for you. That's what a weld-up building is. A bolt-up metal building, or a pre-engineered metal building, a lot of times called a PMB, is basically a building that's been fabricated in the shop. It's got all the holes and pieces ready to just assemble on site. And these buildings we highly recommend them if you're gonna be doing something 60 wide or bigger. We only do weld-ups up to 60, and then anything bigger, we automatically turn into this type of bolt-up metal building. It fits with red iron. And so that's kind of different. Now, timeline, the reason why weld-ups are so popular is that the timeline is faster, it's quicker. But bolt-ups, the timeline is a little bit longer. Takes about, right now it's about 8 to 12 weeks to get, the building. However, if you're gonna be pulling permits, if you're gonna be doing concrete work, it's actually not bad, because that can be going while the material or this building is being prefabricated. So I hope that explains a little bit. Stay tuned because we are very soon gonna do a white. I know a lot of people have been asking, and we're listening. So we're gonna be doing a whiteboard where we compare a weld-up and a bolt-up building, and even with a tubular building. We'll do a comparison to really understand the different types of metal buildings out there and which one's the best one for you. But let's walk through this building. So we got an 80 wide metal building, 150 long. And then we got a little extension over here, which is a lean-to, and it's a weld-up lean-to that was done afterwards. But the main here is a bolt-up building, which is kind of what we want to talk about a little bit more since we haven't. And again, the materials were already here. We came in and we erected this project. It took us about a week and a half. I remember there was some rain that kind of delayed us. You should be seeing some footage from the install time that we were out here as well. So we do have the charcoal gray for the trim colors and the wainscoting. The walls, I need to check the plans, and we'll put the description of the colors on the description. And come on in. When you have something this big, keep in mind the span of the, the beams, or in this case, we got some C purlins, can take up a lot. Like this is about 10 inches. Check this out, guys. This is just spectacular. So all our beams right now here, these type of beams are called tapered beams. So what tapered means, it just basically goes at an angle, like a triangle. And so these are tapered beams. These are all coated by red oxide. We can coat them a different color if that's what you want. We can definitely paint them and get them coated a different color. But just standard, typical is red oxide. And that's just why it's called a red iron building. But right here, we got these tapered beams that are red oxide, but we can get straight beams. Straight beams, I would recommend it for certain commercial projects, depending what you're gonna be doing to finish the wall, and not have to be dealing with the tapered column. And then a lot of these bolt-up buildings also have cables. These cables help for wind support. In our tubular buildings, we do diagonal bracing. It's a very similar concept. For the cables though, we always gotta know where your doors are, because we wanna make sure we don't have cables where your doors are. And if there is a lot of doors or a lot of windows, we reinforce the building with something different, which is more a different framing material that gets used. But typically you will see cables installed on your, like a bolt-up building, especially for this size of a build. Our client already had his concrete. So again, this is a riding stable. There's no need for concrete here. He's actually gonna be grading this and putting a lot more dirt and filling it in. And we'll be back. Hopefully we can get some shoots while it's in action. But he did do a perimeter footing all the way around in the squares wherever it was gonna land for the columns. Now, for bolt-ups, it's very recommended that in your concrete, we embed the bolts beforehand. So I highly recommend that you do not commence any concrete work until you have the plans, the floor plan where all the bolts are. It's basically called the bolt plan. And that's where we gotta embed the bolts inside the building. I've seen a lot of situations where clients go out and build their concrete, but they don't have a bolt, the bolt's embedded in there. You can use wedge anchors, but it's a lot more stronger and a lot recommended to have the bolts embedded inside the concrete. What do you think, Anadela?
I'm excited to see it all come alive.
Well, it's basically alive.
I mean, with the horses and all the animals, which they should see in some of the B-rolls.
They got their cows out there and they got their horses. Our client, did say, hey, I'm still working on it. I hope you can come back out whenever, they're already riding and, working out with their horses. I want to show you guys a little bit more. Now, right here, this was cut out. We cut out, and then a lean-to was built on it. But I wanted to show you guys something here. So it's pretty standard is to have the purlins, the outside of the columns. So the building is 80 wide outside to outside, from panel to panel. These 10-inch purlins, 8-inch to 10-inch purlins are already taken away from your clearance, and then on top of that, the columns. We do standard flush to the wall. We still do bypass on the roof. The roof is fine. We actually like it on top. It's a lot faster to install too. But on the walls, I feel like it takes away from the size of the building, and that's why we do it flush, but bypass is also. I do like it from a thermal break to have it bypass, but in this case, this is pretty standard to have the purlins on the outside of the columns. Our client did run his electrical from the outside in, and you can see the conduits bolted up to the purlins and then ran up there, and that's how he's running basically 2 lights on every column. Those 2 lights. These lights are very, very common. The fans as well. He put 4, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4. He didn't put one here, so it's four fans to run, especially with the heat that we have here in Texas. These lights are very, very common in metal buildings. I have seen it. Again, we don't do metal buildings, but these lights have been very, very common in our projects. When I go and visit, these lights are there. There's actually more specs on the fan here. Let's take a look at them. So it's got the remote controls, and it's about 120 inches. So it's basically 10 feet wide fans. But I know that his lighting, he's already got it here on the lean-to. Check this out. Super nice. And they bright up very, very nice. But if you guys have questions and want more information on the lighting and the fans, I can ask our client. He's really, really cool. He'd be really open to sharing the information. We can share it on the description. Again, if you leave comments, we'll answer them, and we're right on it. We love to connect with you guys. Our channel has been growing a lot, and thanks to you guys. So don't forget to subscribe and really share it with someone. And I hope that this video kind of inspires you for your next riding arena, or just any project around a metal building. There's so many uses for a metal building. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one.